I just wanted to kind of see like if you were in good spirits.
You know, this is like a boxer.
Lil Durk has never shied away from speaking on his rough experiences behind bars. Now, new leaked footage shows him and a close friend enduring tough conditions, sparking serious concern among fans. Reports say Durk's enemies are tightening their reach inside the facility. Let's break it down. The viral video paints a grim reality. Durk's time in lockup has been anything but easy. He's currently held at MDC Los Angeles, a detention center infamous for its violent environment. From assaults and inmate suicides to officers caught smuggling contraband, the place has been labeled inhumane by several judges. For Durk, that means every single day is a fight for survival, not just against his rivals, but against the system itself. Considering how many enemies he's built over the years, comfort isn't part of the equation. One of the most circulated phone calls features Durk speaking with DJ Academics, offering a rare look into his mindset as he faces these career-defining charges. "I've been good, man. Mentally, spiritually, I've been on top of my game." That calm confidence shows the mental toughness that's carried him through every storm in his career. Yet, beneath the composed tone lies a man confronting the real possibility of spending life in a cell, away from his kids, his partner India Royal, and the empire he's built over the past decade. The call grows deeper as Durk expresses gratitude for the prayers and love pouring in, while also being brutally honest about how brutal federal confinement really feels.
This is like a boxer here. You know, we don't get no news, no talk, no nothing. If you don't call or somebody said it to you on the computer, it's a wrap.
His words paint a chilling image of the loneliness that comes with federal time, where any message from the outside becomes a lifeline. What truly stands out, though, is Durk's reflection on his growing faith while incarcerated. The rapper, who's been open about embracing Islam, speaks on learning Arabic from fellow inmates and staying grounded through prayer and spiritual study.
I ain't really on too much of nothing, bro. I don't even be thinking about the outside.
I see your father, like, you know, he was speaking about you, and you know, it brought me back to the conversation we had.
This religious transformation mirrors what fans have seen in Durk's recent career, a man striving to balance his street background with a message of peace and positive growth. Even behind bars, he's reportedly staying involved with community efforts through his Neighborhood Heroes Foundation, though some collaborations have fallen apart due to his legal troubles. Still, Durk isn't enduring this federal storm alone. The viral clips and leaked reports confirm that several members of his Only the Family crew are locked up alongside him, a massive blow to one of Chicago's most influential hip-hop movements. Durk was taken in with 5 co-defendants, all tied to the same alleged conspiracy. These men, once part of his tight-knit inner circle, now face the same life-altering charges and potential life sentences. Kevin London Grant, known on the streets as Cause or Vonnie, stands out as the most notable among Durk's co-defendants. At 28 years old, originally from Chicago but now linked to Atlanta, Grant is described in court documents as a high-ranking OTF associate and one of Durk's earliest allies. Prosecutors allege that Grant played a key role in coordinating logistics for the supposed murder-for-hire operation, purchasing ski masks, renting vehicles, and securing weapons, including one allegedly modified to fire automatically. The most damaging claim is that Grant allegedly used Durk's payment card to reserve a hotel for the crew and flew with him to Los Angeles on a private jet the day before the incident. He's currently held in federal custody in Illinois, awaiting transfer to California. Another alleged player, DeAndre Dantrell Wilson, known as DD, is 33 and from Chicago. He's accused of managing finances and travel for the group. Prosecutors say Wilson arranged one-way flights from Chicago to San Diego for the alleged hit squad using connected funds and coordinated their trip to Los Angeles. Those one-way tickets suggest they either didn't plan on returning or expected to vanish afterward. Wilson is also being held in federal custody in Illinois. His other crew members, Boogie, Brown Ace, and Flacker, are also serving time tied to the same operation. What makes the situation even more heartbreaking is that those arrests happened in Chicago on October 24, 2024, just days before Durk was detained in Florida while allegedly trying to leave the country. The sequence of arrests points to a coordinated federal roundup that nabbed suspected participants before moving to detain the man prosecutors say led the scheme. But the legal trouble for OTF goes beyond this federal indictment. Several additional affiliates were picked up in August 2025 on separate allegations amid talk that authorities intensified scrutiny of the group after Durk's case broke. Funa was arrested on August 2, 2025 in Chicago, accused of burglary, homicide, and disposing of a body at a church, specifically tied to the killing of Oscar Ounce Cruz, whose corpse was reportedly dumped after being shot 17 times. That matter appears unrelated to the federal conspiracy but compounds the mounting legal mess. Boone Mo also ran into trouble in August 2025, arrested for possession with intent to distribute cocaine. Assigned OTF artist and collaborator of Durk's, he remains in custody and faces significant prison exposure if convicted. At the same time, DJ Bands, formerly Durk's official DJ and producer, was arrested in August 2025 on marijuana charges and for breaching probation. Reports say the arrests stem from drugs found during a routine compliance check tied to earlier convictions. Meanwhile, in May 2025, Prosecutors claimed Durk broke jail rules by using at least 13 different inmates' phone accounts to place calls, including engaging in unauthorized three-way calls. The judge portrayed this conduct as blatant rule-breaking that undercut any argument for pretrial release, even with a proposed $4.5 million bail package that would have included house arrest and private security. The prosecution's point was stark and damaging. If Durk couldn't follow basic detention protocols, how could he be trusted with supervised freedom? The phone privilege violations became just one of several leaked exchanges that later surfaced online, producing endless fodder for social media and hip-hop commentators. The Fed's strategy, informants, wiretaps, and life-term aims, underpins the broader case. Prosecutors allege Durk orchestrated the plot, offering money and industry incentives to OTF members to carry out an attack on Quando Rondo. This was not portrayed as a spontaneous street dispute but as, according to authorities, a deliberate, multi-state conspiracy requiring careful planning, substantial funds, and coordination among multiple actors across cities. The probe uncovered troubling specifics about how investigators say the operation unfolded. 5 associates allegedly traveled from Chicago to Los Angeles using Durk's card for flights and lodging and attempted the hit using firearms, one of which was reportedly modified with a machine gun conversion device. The scale of organization and resources suggested this was far removed from random street violence. The inquiry has reportedly produced more than 200,000 pages of material, including bank records, travel logs, surveillance clips, and most damningly, recordings captured by a confidential informant who had reportedly worn a wire for years. Even more unsettling than the government's files are the intercepted messages and videos posted by rival factions while Durk remains confined. In one viral clip, an individual claiming allegiance to an opposing side issues a graphic threat that highlights the extreme animosity surrounding the case.
If I get home for him, I'm gonna kill his kids.
Stop playing with me. You just say if you get home before him, you gonna kill his kids. Come on, gang.
Hey, it is what it is.
Come on, gang. You been in jail
I hope he get home.
100,000
I'm
years.
praying. I need him to get home.
Come on, gang.
That threat aimed at Durk's associates shows just how lethal the street tensions are that federal prosecutors say motivated the alleged murder-for-hire plan. The identity of the government's central informant has become one of the most debated elements of the story in hip-hop circles. Much of the prosecution hinges on evidence from a confidential source who allegedly recorded conversations for years while wearing a wire. Though media chatter and online speculation have pointed to a figure known as Jam, a one-time associate released from prison in 2022 after a 12-year sentence for attempted murder, the government has not publicly named the informant in court filings. The alleged informant's backstory adds a sharp note of betrayal to the saga. In a resurfaced 2023 interview, Jam publicly thanked Durk for support during his incarceration, noting financial help and shoutouts in lyrics. That contrast between past gratitude and supposed cooperation with prosecutors has fueled a narrative of treachery that has gripped the hip-hop community. Analysts and content creators have been dissecting the implications of the informant element. One commentator, Hood Educated, offered a deep dive into what the federal approach could mean strategically.
This co-conspirator who was unnamed. Check it out, right? This how cold-blooded this unnamed co-conspirator is. Let me show you the power of this unnamed co-conspirator. He offered money. Not only that,
the breakdown goes on to expose how precise and deliberate the federal investigation has been, showing how prosecutors methodically built their case around this cooperating witness. A leaked video from October 2024 shows Jam in an interrogation room, eating McDonald's while glancing at the camera, footage that instantly went viral and sparked countless memes mocking him for snitching for a Big Mac. While that clip fueled online jokes, it also underscored a serious violation of trust within hip-hop culture, where staying silent in the face of law enforcement is considered an unbreakable code. The federal probe also uncovered a larger pattern of alleged criminal behavior stretching far beyond the Quando Rondo situation. Media figure DJ Academics, who's closely followed Durk's ongoing legal saga, laid out the broader law enforcement focus surrounding the rapper.
Durk gets caught in a shooting with Vaughn in Atlanta. Detectives from Chicago traveled to Atlanta just to testify in a pretrial hearing, just to keep him in jail.
This perspective reveals a deep, multi-agency effort that's reportedly been building against Durk for years, implying that the current federal case is the result of a long-term, nationwide investigation. Academics continued by explaining how persistent law enforcement's pursuit of Durk has been.
The reason why they did it, they even admitted, the detectives, they said, we've been trying to get this money. We couldn't get him. Remember, he caught 3 guns.
That acknowledgement from investigators themselves highlights how Durk managed to dodge serious criminal charges multiple times in the past, making this latest federal case a turning point for prosecutors determined to finally secure a conviction. Meanwhile, Durk's own reaction to his situation has been captured in another leaked jail call, one that showcases his bold confidence despite facing possible life in prison.
I don't fear nothing. Chill, death. It is what it is, like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I got a brain. I know how to move, and I know what not to.
While that display of composure shows mental resilience, It also exposes how, even under intense pressure, Durk continues to embody the same street-driven mentality prosecutors claim fueled his alleged crimes. His defense team, led by high-profile attorney Drew Findling, has adopted an aggressive legal approach but faces major obstacles. In April 2025, they filed motions to dismiss the case, arguing that the indictment relied on flawed evidence, including misrepresented lyrics and unsubstantiated connections tying Durk to the plot. The defense also accused prosecutors of misleading the grand jury and presenting circumstantial claims instead of solid proof. A small but notable win came in May 2025 when the prosecution issued a superseding indictment that removed all references to Durk's lyrics, a move widely seen as an acknowledgement that using rap music as courtroom evidence of criminal intent is both controversial and legally shaky. Still, despite that partial victory, Durk's renewed request for bail was denied on May 8, 2025. The judge cited his recorded jail communications and other factors as proof of both flight risk and public danger. The denial carried weight, coming right after prosecutors had already backed off the lyrical evidence. Beyond Durk's individual charges, the case has revealed a much wider federal interest in OTF and its network. In December 2024, Durk was linked, though never charged, to another murder-for-hire scheme in Chicago involving Stefan Mack, and prosecutors claimed he allegedly placed bounties on several targets, including a witness's relative. This pattern of alleged conduct bolstered the government's argument that Durk poses an ongoing threat to the community. Adding to the intrigue, the timing of his arrest tells its own story. Federal agents caught him allegedly trying to leave the US after booking international flights to Dubai, Switzerland, and Italy. He was detained near Miami International Airport roughly an hour before his Italy-bound flight was scheduled to take off. Prosecutors have cited his near escape as clear proof of guilt awareness and a likelihood to flee. As the leaked jail recordings keep spreading, they serve as a harsh reflection of the personal toll this entire ordeal has taken. The voice heard on those calls isn't just that of an entertainer, it's a man with children, a fiancé, and an entire business network relying on him. The verdict in this case will shape not only his destiny but the future of everyone who built their livelihoods around his music empire. The extensive body of evidence prosecutors claim to hold, combined with reports of insiders turning cooperative, has left Durk's legal defense in a tightening corner. Each new document and media revelation widens the picture, revealing what authorities describe as a hybrid operation. Part record label, part organized network born from the same blocks that made him famous. It forces a deeper look into the connection between Durk and King Von, a brotherhood so intense it allegedly pushed him to gamble everything in the name of loyalty. Blood brothers, a bond that sparked a war. Those viral jail clips didn't just uncover a criminal case, they exposed the emotional foundation of a friendship powerful enough to inspire one of hip-hop's darkest revenge sagas. To grasp why Durk now sits in a federal facility facing the possibility of dying behind bars, you have to understand the loyalty he shared with King Von, a connection that went beyond music deals or collaborations. Their relationship evolved into something resembling true family, rooted in survival and shared pain in Chicago's relentless streets. What linked them wasn't industry politics but mutual belief, respect, and history. Von, born Davon Daquan Bennett, was a standout artist from Durk's Only the Family collective, whose life was cut short on November 6, 2020, after a violent encounter outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta. When Durk first encountered him, he didn't see another rapper trying to chase fame. He saw pure, unfiltered truth straight from the trenches. Von's storytelling painted real life in ways that felt cinematic, and his voice carried the grit of experience that couldn't be faked. Even veteran rappers knew there was something rare about him. In his most candid interview, Durk recalled the exact moment he decided to bring Von under his wing, not out of chance, but because he recognized raw greatness that could shift the culture forever.
One of the closest motherfuckers told me, start rapping. You just find you some artists. So that made me kind of go hard, you know what I'm saying? But when I see Von, always been Von. Like if Von was gonna be a rapper, a basketball player, football player, Von was always gonna be Von. Like a good-hearted motherfucker. So he like, man, when I go on Breakfast Club.
Von's influence, though, went far deeper than his lyrical talent. Durk saw in him a reflection of his own younger self. The hunger, the authenticity, the balance of pain and pride that only someone who's lived the struggle could express. This wasn't a label-engineered image or a trend-driven act. It was real life put to rhythm. Von represented the streets with a level of honesty that made his art impossible to imitate. What began as a musical alliance soon transformed into genuine brotherhood.
Told me like 5 songs. He like, man, this shit, he said all shit weak. And I told him, I'm like, man, this is my favorite song right here.
What's up?
And it's crazy. Crazy story.
Really?
That motherfucker dropped Crazy Story, started going crazy. We was on tour. We was on tour too. Put him on tour, I started bringing him out. And then Von became like, if Von was alive right now, he'd be like the biggest in that.
That realization changed everything. Von's rapid ascent was fueled by Durk's belief, and together they shifted the sound and energy of Chicago's drill movement. What separated their connection from most label artist relationships was how personal it became. Durk didn't treat Von like a signed act, he treated him like blood, someone whose wins and losses felt like his own. That protective instinct grew stronger over time and would later become the emotional core of what prosecutors now describe as motive. Their chemistry in the studio was undeniable. Von would walk in with ideas bursting with raw emotion, and Durk would refine them into records without stripping away their authenticity. The result was a creative partnership that felt more like two brothers crafting a legacy than business partners chasing profit.
It's so crazy because Von used to come in the studio and be like, hey, finish this for me. I'll help him out, finish it for him. Then that motherfucker just caught. Like, he just started rapping, start listening to his shit, you be like, damn, alright. Come on, bitch, let's die here. Like that's how he is. He ain't like, what you think? What you think they gonna think? Down my, come on, dad. I'm talking down my head. Go on here, bitch, die your whole head. Ooh, come on, twin, come on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
The partnership between Durk and Von revealed something essential about their chemistry. It wasn't built on hierarchy or ego. Even though Durk was already a heavyweight in the game and Von was just emerging, their creative bond was rooted in equality. Durk opened the door, but Von walked through it on his own strength. His artistry didn't need hand-holding, it demanded space to breathe, and Durk gave him that. Their connection stretched way beyond the booth and the spotlight. Durk became both a mentor and protector, showing Von how to move through the rap industry's minefields while still keeping his street edge intact. This guidance wasn't about record sales. It was about surviving in an arena that mirrors the same dangers as the blocks they came from, where one wrong move can end careers or lives. Von's meteoric rise came fast, and that momentum had Durk's fingerprints all over it. In just months, Von transformed from a neighborhood name to a national headline in the drill movement. His raw storytelling met Durk's business strategy, forming a partnership that felt unstoppable. But fame brought its own shadows. Suddenly, Von had the attention of detectives, rivals, and enemies who remembered past street conflicts. The same authenticity that fueled his art also painted a target on his back. When Von was gunned down in Atlanta, it wasn't just the loss of an artist, it was the collapse of a brotherhood that had become the heartbeat of both their lives.
You know, one of my favorite rappers ever was King Von.
Yeah.
You had a great relationship with him, obviously.
Yeah.
Where were you when you got the call?
We was in Houston. We were shooting a video, I think. Yeah.
He was one of the most talented guys on the planet.
Somebody told me if you can copy an artist to be somebody for Halloween, you made it. He had a whole image. You know what I'm saying? And he lived what he lives. What he rapped about, he lived, but he was good hearted at the same time. So it's like
that tragic phone call Durk received in Houston became the spark prosecutors claim led to everything that followed. A series of choices now written into a federal indictment. To Durk, Von's death wasn't just grief. It was betrayal, loss, and fury rolled into one. It was an attack on his legacy, his loyalty, and the empire he had built from scratch. In the code of the streets, loyalty demands payback. When someone you love like family is taken, silence isn't an option. Retaliation becomes the only language of respect. In Durk's world, weakness could be deadly, both in reputation and reality. Prosecutors argue that his devotion crossed that invisible line separating loyalty from conspiracy. Instead of healing through his craft, they claim Durk weaponized his power, his money, and his network to settle a score that law enforcement couldn't. What began as grief, they say, evolved into vengeance, one that cost innocent lives and shattered families. The irony is that the entire tragedy might have been avoided. The Atlanta confrontation started as a fistfight between Von and rapper Quando Rondo, real name Tiquiantel Bowman, before bullets turned the night into chaos. Von was hit several times and later pronounced dead, while Rondo's associate, Timothy Lul Tim Leaks, was charged with the killing, charges that would later vanish under Georgia's Stand Your Ground law in 2023. The dismissal felt like salt in an open wound. For Durk, it wasn't closure, it was confirmation that the system had failed his brother. That moment, according to the feds, is what tipped the balance from mourning to retribution. The Durk-Von relationship represents hip-hop's most powerful duality, love and loyalty as both a lifeline and a curse. It showed how mentorship can build legends, but also how deep ties to street codes can drag even the most successful artists into cycles of destruction. Now, with Durk confined in a federal cell, possibly forever, every leaked call and viral clip feels like a reflection of what unwavering loyalty has cost him. The same devotion that helped elevate Von's career is what prosecutors say pulled Durk into the abyss, transforming his legacy from triumph to tragedy. The fallout extends beyond just them. Families, crews, and fans who once celebrated their rise now watch the dismantling of a dream that once symbolized hope for Chicago's drill generation. Instead of honoring Von's posthumous success and Durk's ongoing dominance, the culture is left mourning what their brotherhood became. Love this story? Tap the cards on screen for more.